Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Doom Patrol Season 3, Episode 3, Dead Patrol. And just so everyone knows, my safe word is turnip. Before we get started, let me take care of some business first, and then we'll get started here. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible. One of the videos, my vast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below. And if you can, hit that like button and the share button as well. And if you want to know when I'll be on live again next, hit that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media on there and all the links to my pages like this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page where you guys can post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. Raymond says this episode was a perfect combination of comedy and drama, like an ancient myth, one of my favorites of the series. Yeah, let's get to it. Spoiler alert. Hey, I'm going to spoil the episode. If you have not seen the episode, go and watch it. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Okay. Do I have enough time there? Giving you enough time? Yes. All right. So yeah, that um wow. Okay, so yeah, Larry, of course, is at home. He's waiting at Doom Manor. Got, you know, the entity has left him, the traveler has left him, and he gets a ring at the doorbell, and there's four big boxes on the porch, and he opens them up, and it's all his dead friends that have been sent over to him. Uh yeah, so of course he really freaks the fuck out. Wraps him, of course, in bandages and sits him at the kitchen table or the dining room table, which is what anyone would do when when that happens. Sirius says, surprisingly, I like the Hardy Boy Winchesters. I hope they come back. I'll get to that in a minute, Sirius. Let me go through a little bit more on this. Um, Dorothy, of course, comes back, and not only has she lost, her parents at this point, but now she's lost her friends as well, except for Larry, and doesn't know what to do. And as they're making pancakes, Larry sees Rita's face bubble up through the pancake batter, and they think she might still be alive. So we see from their point of view, from the group's point of view, they are crossing the river Styx, and everyone passes out except for Rita. And Rita, of course, does the great Hollywood faint that, "Ugh," and then passes out as the watchers come and pick up their bodies and hang them on a conveyor belt, and they are being processed in the Tunnel of Souls. So Dorothy asks Danny to find somebody that can help them, bring their friends back to life, of course. And Danny brings up the Dead Boy Detectives, the Dead Boy Detective Agency, excuse me, which of course consists of Crystal, who's a psychic medium, Edwin Payne, who died in 1916, and Charles Rowland, who died in 1989. And those actually do become relevant. So the Dead Boy Detective Agency, by the way, has already been announced that there's been a series ordered by HBO Max. So this is kind of like a little bit of a backdoor, pilot, if you will, for them on this. That's what it's called in the industry, as a backdoor pilot, is when they make an entire episode based on these characters that are going to have their own pilot series. Um, so since Larry has a connection to Rita in the afterlife there, or in the Tunnel of Souls, he's got to come with them, and it's a big deal because Death is actually still looking for Edwin and Charles. And I got to wondering one thing about this, since the original comic is actually from a Vertigo Comics, DC Comics, Vertigo Comics. I'm wondering if Death, as they described her, was very stylish, and a woman is the Death from the Sandman comics. I'm thinking it might be one and the same, which will be very interesting because Sandman, the Sandman, Neil Gaiman series, is actually going to be a Netflix series. So I wonder how the two are, or if they're going to interact at all. That would be kinda cool if they could. Yeah. Um, Raymond says, like how Doom Patrol started in Titans. Yes, exactly. Doom Patrol kinda sort of started in Titans, but, we don't really talk about it because it's a different universe. Philip says, "I like the blonde kid's response to being asked if he's gay. Very British." Well, it's also very Victorian as well, which we'll get to here in a minute. Sirius says, "I should have paid more attention, but who mailed all the bodies to Larry?" So that's an interesting thing too. If you get a chance to see the package, there is no return address. Just we know that it's from upstate New York, and there's a QR code on the package itself, which if you scan it, takes you to season one of Doom Patrol on the Warner Brothers website. It's been making the rounds. It's pretty fun. Doom Patrol does their own nice little things throughout these series. Like episode 2, I said had an 800 number that you could call up, and it basically had a lot of people saying, "What the fuck?" when you when you push the button for like hang out with Cliff or you hang out with Vic or something like that. Um, so yeah, it would be kind of fun. And we don't know who sent them back. Maybe you know, maybe the resort actually sent them back, Codsville Resort. When I said, "Eh, fuck it, we're just gonna send them back." All I know is that van left really fast. Probably just didn't want to get rid of the stink out of the back of the van there. Um, so of course, Rita is still awake. She gets rescued by some disfigured dude. We don't know who he is. Neither does she at this point. And we see the others going through purgatory, if you will. So Cliff is meeting his dad. Jane is meeting Kay's grandmother. And Vic, of course, is meeting his mother. And they're all dealing with their own little issues. They work some stuff out, and also they as they're making their way to their door to their afterlife, they all come across the little item, and Dorothy has actually grabbed items for each person, except for Rita. Rita's already awake, and so she's attached to Larry. And as they see these items, Vic is a shoe, um, Cliff's is a toy car, Jane's is paintbrushes, things like that. They see them in their purgatory, if you will. When they grab them, they wake up in the Tunnel of Souls, and of course, they all come to meet, they run into Larry, of course, and Edwin and, Charles. And Charles, by the way, is the one that packs the weapons. Edwin is the one that knows his way around the afterlife. And, I thought it was kinda perverse the way to get into the afterlife, since Edwin was the only one that actually went into the afterlife before. He had to experience his pain while he's pulling on the doll head to open up the door, and it was basically his death, I guess is what it was. Him being tortured. We didn't see what it was. We just know it was him being tortured. We know that Charles' death, of course, was by hypothermia, and so that's why he's afraid of water. Because Edwin tells us this, of course. So, of course, they find everyone unites at this point, and then this woman who is basically Death's right hand woman there, known as the night nurse, knows Charles and Edwin by name and says, "Hey, it's time to go to bed." And they're like, "Nope, we're out of here," kind of thing. And they of course end up getting back to the land of the living. um Dorothy leaves with the Dead Boy Detective Agency because, of course, she's going to try and find Niles and contact Niles at this point. That's most likely what she's going to do. And as the team is getting back into the routine of Doom Manor, who comes downstairs to put the kettle on for some tea? But Madame Rouge. And Madame Rouge does not know who she is. She can't remember who she is. And that's how come we leave off in this episode. So it was a very, very weird episode, but also a great episode as well. Raymond says, "Laugh out loud. I love how they got Larry to the astral project. Yes, the magic eye. I did love that too, Raymond, where they're showing him the magic eye and they're like, just relax, take a look at it, and tell us what you see." "Oh, it's a space shuttle." And of course, you got Charles standing right behind him with a shovel that just hits him, and his body goes down, but his spirit stays up. And he's like, "Hey." That was pretty funny. Yeah. So there was a couple things too. Also, I did love that when Crystal and Dorothy are sitting there, and along with Larry, and they're talking about the items that they need for Crystal to kind of connect with them, and the sex ghosts show up, and they're fucking right there, and Crystal just turns over and goes, "Turnip," and the sex ghost disappears, and she goes, "It's their safe word. It's all of their safe words." The sex ghosts all use the same safe word, turnip, which I thought was pretty damn funny. And yes, the night nurse vomiting on them. I thought that was kind of funny. It's just vomit because it just she projectile vomits onto them. Uh, yeah. Well, they've been through so much shit, CB, so that it's just vomit is actually a good thing because it could be something worse, you know. Oh. We got another Supernatural alum, Rowena. Who's Rowena? I don't know who Rowena is. Let me see here. Are you talking about Night Nurse? Is it's Ruth Connell or I do not know. So anyway, yeah, great episode, fun episode, introducing a new group of characters who are going to get their own series. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and we get to see what the fuck happens now with Madame Rouge, who she is, what she's about, why she's there, where she came from, what time she came from, if she remembers. We know that she has a time machine, and yeah, it's going to be interesting. Philip Ademic says, with the ghost of Jane's father turning into puzzle pieces, I thought it was creepy having them all eating a piece of the puzzle. Yeah. I mentioned that too, that it was just kind of weird. Why were they doing that? To take him into themselves, it just didn't make sense. The one thing that was interesting too is we find out that Kay's grandmother is also named Jane. And Kay's grandmother was making little dolls, and it's of all the persona. If you notice, it's all of Kay's personas. They're all the dolls there, and that's what she's been making. And maybe Kay's grandmother is the progenitor of Kay's different personalities and powers, because she said she was always trying to protect the girl from her father when she could. So that was the other thing that we kind of learned. We got another little piece of the puzzle, if you will, to Jane and Kay at that point. Oh, okay. So, yeah, that's her. Night Nurse is her name in this one, and it's played by Ruth Connell. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't remember the supernatural character's name. So, yeah, there's definitely going to be supernatural references to this because Jeremy Carver is the showrunner for this, and he was also the showrunner for Supernatural for a while as well. Him and Ben Edlin, and he worked on it from season 6 through, I want to say, like 10, somewhere around there, and then he took over for a little bit, and then he left as well. I think he actually left like maybe 2 seasons after that too, or maybe he left the same time as Ben. I can't remember. So it's not uncommon for Jeremy Carver to pull people in from Supernatural that he knows. So fun episode, great episode. We get a little, more on our characters' background, especially Cliff's dad, shooting down Pegasi, and you'll love them. It tastes like chicken, and of course, Robot Man can't eat, so yeah. And then the whole thing with his dad, RJ Steele, talking about how he struck up a relationship with Clara after Cliff had died, supposedly died, and he was really kind of touched that Clara actually had a baby. And he even said getting back in touch with Clara almost made him want to redo the whole parenting thing over again to get it right. And so you're seeing a lot of similarities between RJ and Cliff and a lot of regret, and yeah, just trying to make things right again, even though they're both big fuck ups. Yeah. And Vic, of course, talking to his mother, and the big revelation in that whole thing was that um, Vic's mother, and I'm blanking on her name all of a sudden because I have it here. Eleanor. There we go. Eleanor actually told him that his father, making him a superhero, was not by accident, kind of thing. So there's something a little bit more sinister with Silas Stone than we really know. So yeah. Well, it's actually alluding to the fact that Silas had a decision to make. He can only save one person, and he could either have saved Eleanor or he could have saved Vic, and he actually ends up saving Vic because she wakes up briefly and says, "Forget about me, save Vic." Yeah. At least in this version of Cyborg's genesis, if you will. Yeah. They're going, I believe they're going with that whole realm of things. Kind of like they did in I want to say that Zack Snyder used that in Justice League. I can't remember honestly, but yeah. So, where we go from here? Well, what else I have going on the rest of the week? Tomorrow is going to be spoiler alert, basically where we can talk spoilers about everything. As long as it's out in the public, you guys can spoil away. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. Monday is going to be Why the Last Man. Tuesday, I'm going to be off. Wednesday is going to be What If, another episode of What If. Thursday is going to be a new episode of Doom Patrol. And Friday I'll be off, and Saturday will be another episode of Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the weekend and genre stuff you guys want to talk about, and we talk about it. So there you have it. All right. That's the end of my 3 for day. That's right. 3 of these podcasts in one day, or vidcasts, or whatever you want to call them. Live streams. There we go. Thank you to everybody who joined me today in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library, and pops up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you want to know when I'll be on live again next, hit that bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com, take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media up there and all the links to my pages as well. Um, CBM says, I think this episode was the best of the season so far. Well, so far, yeah, we've only been 3 episodes in, but it was a fun episode. Yeah. They usually end up once it goes to the entire season, you kind of have to rewatch it again and see there's um what I like to call a path throughout these episodes in every season of Doom Patrol that actually makes sense, and you don't see it until you have gone through it. Then you got to go back again and kind of watch it again to see the path that they've set up, and it's actually really nice. They do a really good job of that. The dog scared herself. That's all. I thought was kind of funny. Um, and did a fairly decent job at being a backdoor pilot without sucking. Exactly. They did do a good job of that. Um, And it shows that, goes to show you that nepotism can sometimes pay off, since that is Edwin is actually David Tennant's son there. So, yeah. But no, there is no nepotism in Hollywood. Never, never, never. All right. I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everybody who joined me tonight. I will see you again tomorrow for spoiler alert. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, watchers may just grab you while you're hanging there, just enjoying purgatory, but you woke up and you spoiled everything. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks. excuse me, get those vaccine shots and stay safe out there, everyone. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.